using Seaborn. Today we will do little bit more on this. So for now, you just open a tab and import Seaborn. Then we will take some data sets from here and we will try to plot graphs on those data set and we'll try to understand. We'll get some meaning out of those. Okay, so we have not done any data study, right, on Seaborn, data analysis on Seaborn.
No, no, we have not done.
Okay, okay. Then we'll start that. So first you import Seaborn as SB. Then you can write sb.get dataset names. Okay, just do this.
I think Abhay got disconnected.
1 second. No, Abhay is there.
Uh, Hello, Saurabh.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Okay, see, first you import this package Seaborn. Like my screen is visible, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can import this package. Then we will take some data set from this Seaborn and we'll try to analyze and visualize those data. So first you import Seaborn as SB, then we'll try to visualize. Then you can write sb.get dataset names. It will show you all the data sets which Seaborn is providing. And we'll try to understand, like we'll take 2, 3 data sets from here and we'll visualize those.
Yeah, yes, Saurabh. Well,
Okay, next here, we'll be taking one data set. So here, one of the most famous data set is Iris data set. So we will take this Iris data set and we will try to work on this data. So to load any data set from Seaborn, it is sb.load data set. So what this load data set will do, it will download this data set from internet and then it will convert it to data frame format. So
as
here we can see the data frame format. Okay, we would have done this earlier, but we like here we will try to visualize this data. Okay, I think we didn't do the visualization on this data. We'll be doing visualization. Did we do pair plot, distribution plot, all those?
Yeah, I think this distribution plot, then pale plot, and
Okay,
haze.
then this box plot.
These
Yeah,
no,
box plot we have done, but not these three, not these examples. Those were a single.
Okay, this pair plot also we haven't done then.
We
no,
have done pair plot.
Not done, right?
Not done.
no, no, no,
Okay,
no.
then we'll do all those things. So first
We,
you read the data, that is read this data iris, and we'll try to analyze this data using different types of plots.
Yeah, done.
So now next is here I'm checking what are the unique values within my species. Now here you can see species like it says Setosa, Setosa, which is reported. So it might be categorical data. Now to see what type of categories are there, here I'm checking those by saying for import pandas as PD, then pd.unique. So pd.unique, I'm passing that column name, data set of species. So three unique things are there, that is Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. Now see this data set tells you about different types of iris flower. Okay, there are three types of iris flower. Those are like Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. And here it shows based on sepal length, sepal width, and petal width, which type of flower it is. Okay, so usually this data set is used for classification. We'll be understanding more onto like what is classification problems and all when we learn statistics. But here this data set, you can say that these four are features: sepal length, sepal width, petal width are the features which will tell you which type of flower a particular flower is, that is which type of species a particular flower is based on these four features. Now here species is something which we are going to study based on all these features. Okay, so that is what is all about the data. So now to see all the unique values, you can write down this pd.unique of data set of species. This is how you can find out any categorical features, like how many categories are there. To see that, you can use this. It will show you only the unique values out of that column. Okay, so you can try this.
Yeah, done.
Okay, so next is next we will plot some graph and we will try to understand more on this data. Now see here, like these four features which we have here are continuous data, like sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. These are all continuous value. Like you will find those value being changing, lot of values being changing here. So here, to analyze any continuous data, which type of plot should we use to analyze any continuous data? Can you name any plot which we can use to analyze continuous data? Like we have already seen in Matplotlib, right? To analyze continuous data, which plot should we use? Okay, so should we use bar plot or histogram? There are two plots, right? We already understood that one.
Histogram we can.
Yes, histogram we can use for continuous data study. Bar plot for categorical data. Now here in Seaborn, they have something called as dist plot. Dist plot is nothing but distribution plot. So it shows you the distribution of data, how the distribution of the data is. So here I'm saying sb.dist plot of data set of petal length. I have taken petal length. You can take anything like sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. Any of this, all these are continuous data. So here I'm taking petal length and it shows how petal length is distributed over my data set. So here it shows on the lower end petal length is very less. On the higher like petal length being higher size, there are more data. Okay, so this is nothing but the distribution of the entire data. So this is called as dist plot. This is also very similar to histogram. Here you can see at the back we have histograms, but on top of that it also shows us the density of data. So this line you can see this bell curve kind of line. So this is nothing but this shows you the density. This is a kind of probability distribution which shows you how the things are distributed.
This was done through KDE. Pair plotting was not done. This you have shown with false. We can hide.
So here we have done this.
Yes.
Okay, so you can you can skip this. Okay, scatter plot also we have already done anyways in our this one, that is PLT. Okay, that is Matplotlib. Next is pair plot. So pair plot is you can write down this code. Okay, then I will explain you what's pair plot. Okay, just write down and see if you are getting this plot or not.
Done.
Done. Okay, so now see here, this plot is called as pair plot. So it takes pair of data and it tries to like analyze those data. So now to see this, like it will be kind of a matrix, okay, where you will have some column values and you will have some row values. So now here, if you see these are some row values saying sepal length. This entire row has sepal length data. Second row has sepal width data, like that. If you see the column is also there, like first column is sepal length, second column is sepal width. So at the bottom it says third column is petal length, like that. So first graph is nothing but it's sepal length with sepal length. Now if you see this entire graph, one thing you can observe is this diagonal, the main diagonal. Okay, there is something main diagonal that is called as linear transformation. In matrix also the main diagonal is very important, right? In matrices, like in linear algebra also, main diagonal defines the linearity behind the things. So how to understand this? Like if you see the first block here, the first row, first row and first column, this value is sepal length in the row, and in the column also it's sepal length. So it shows you sepal length with sepal length. So now it compares sepal length with sepal length. So it's like linear. So it's comparing the data with itself. So it's nothing but a linear data here. Similarly, if you see this second one, okay, so second row, second one, here also Second one is sepal width, and column name is also sepal width. So this is also linear. You are getting this? Okay, are you guys getting this?
Yes, Swaroop,
Trying to
little.
understand.
This diagonal is nothing but it's the value itself. It's just linear comparison. But here, if you see the first row, second column, is sepal length, first row is sepal length, but the column name, if you see, it is sepal width. So it's comparing sepal length with sepal width here, and it groups them by species, saying Setosa, versicolor, virginica. These three species are there. It groups them by colors, and it shows how sepal length and sepal width combinedly is contributing towards different types of species. So here we can say if sepal length is high and sepal width is also sepal length and sepal width both are high, then it is Setosa flower. Okay, so those kind of thing we can analyze and say from here. Getting?
Yes, little bit, but it's okay. We'll study. They'll come back to you if any doubt came.
Okay, so see here, it's nothing but it's just comparing pair of data. So now if you see the first row, third column, so first row, third column is sepal length is the row name, and column name is petal length. So this column is petal length. Now it shows if sepal length, petal length both are small, so it is nothing but Setosa flower. Okay, like that. If both are
Okay.
high value, then it is Virginica flower. Okay, like
Mhm.
that. Getting?
Okay. Getting.
Okay,
Then
now
what?
is
Then
yeah.
what is in the first? What is in the first column? Like first column?
This one.
Yeah, first column. Yeah.
This one is sepal length. Column is also sepal length. Row is also sepal length. It just shows you the distribution of data. Okay, so here we have told, see here what we are writing, data set, then hue. Hue is nothing but group by. Just add different colors on species. Species is our target. That is the dependent variable. So I want to analyze based on different species, like how sepal length, sepal width, all these features are contributing to different species when they are taken in pairs. Okay, so here hue is nothing but group by species we are saying. So it will group the data, all the data by species. Then here diagonal kind is this diagonal row. Sorry, this diagonal diagonal value. Okay, so these all values like say this first one, then second 2 by 2, then 3 by 3. Okay, this diagonal part we are saying is KD. KD means kernel density estimator. So it will just show you what is the density of data. So sepal length is for Setosa flower, sepal length is more. So we have more sepal length with respect to Setosa flower, and for versicolor and virginica almost same type of data distribution is there. So like that we can say, okay, this is just distribution of data. And here I'm saying kind is scatter. So when it is comparing with other kinds, it should be a scatter plot. And palette is nothing but it's a color. We are giving hustle, so you can give winter, summer, any color here.
Okay.
Getting?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is called as pair plot. So this is useful when you have some categorical data and you want to compare your features with respect to categorical data. You can use this plot. It takes pair of continuous data, and it tries to show you how, if you take pair, how it is contributing to your dependent to your target, that is your species. Okay, so what we can analyze from this. Getting? So species
Yes.
is what? Like as I described you earlier, species is something which is our target, means which we are going to study based on all these features. So here I'm taking those features as pairs, and I'm trying to analyze my species. Got?
Okay.
Okay, next is box plot. So box plot already we have done earlier. So box plot is like it shows you the how the datas are clustered. So we will discuss more onto this box plot when we go to statistics. It's a statistical plot where it shows what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, where the data is grouped together, where there is a strong bond between the data. If there is any outlier also we can get through box plot. Like here if you see in virginica we have one dot outside the range. So here this is nothing but this is called as box plot, this is called as outlier. So now this box plot you can plot when you have some categorical data and you want to compare with respect to some continuous variable. So now here categorical data are usually taken in the x-axis and continuous is taken in the y-axis. So here I am saying that suppose I want to find out based on sepal length how it is contributing to different species. So here I have taken data as data set, then x as species and y as sepal length. So here it shows like when sepal length is small, it is setosa flower. When it is little bit around 5.5 to somewhere 6.5, it is versicolor flower. And when sepal length is high, it is virginica flower. Okay, like this we can analyze by using box plot. Okay, so you can do this box plot. Any doubt on box plot?
No doubt, but there is a one actually like it's a most important you
Plot.
know in the machine learning, I think, right?
Yes, yes. It is very important plot. This is also called as five summary plot. We will understand more in statistics. Like when you understand statistics, that time you will be understanding more into this. Like there is something called as median, and then mean max, then IQR. This box is called as IQR. We'll understand. We'll get to those.
Okay. And one more doubt, Swaroop. Uh,
Mm.
uh, for machine learning, there is a SQL is important. Like
SQL is only important to fetch the data from the like database.
okay, so like is it like we like as if I'm learning machine learning, so SQL learning of SQL is also important. Like I'm just because can you guide me on that? Like
Important, not that important. See, actually, what happens is, see, any company you go, people will
mm-hmm.
expect that, okay, you know how to fetch values from DB database. But
Okay,
usually, most of the company they will not give access to their DB. Okay, so use like we go to them and we ask them that this is the data what we want. Then only they give us those data, and those data will either be in CSV format or some XLS format, like that only they give those SQL data. But still we will also be doing that. We will also see here like in our class how to connect to SQL DB and get data sets from there, and how to write like basic queries in SQL. Okay, like that also we'll have one class on that.
okay, okay.
Okay, this is SQL. See, like data can be in any format. It's not only in SQL. Now here in Bangalore, you have a lot of software companies. So they have all data in Oracle, Postgres, MySQL. So those kind of DB. So that's where they expect that okay, you should know at least something onto that area, so that if there is a need, you should be able to fetch the data from DB. Okay, so that's why we will also be looking into that part little bit.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's done.
Done.
Box plot. Yeah.
Okay. So now see this CPON guys, what they have done, like as these are the data scientists, so they found that there can be a lot more things which we can do with this box plot, and they have manipulated this box plot. Now, if you see in the box plot here, it just shows you the box, so it doesn't show you the data points, like where the data actually lies. Like here if you see one data point, it shows okay it's outside the actual range of values. This is the actual range and it's far away, like it's very far from the range of values. So here like we can see the data point, but within the box and all we cannot actually see those data. Now like this cpon guys, they have created one more plot which is nothing but a manipulation of box plot. So they have manipulated that and created this swarm plot. Now this swarm plot, what it does, it shows you the actual data points, like where all data points are. Now if you see here, you'll be able to understand more, saying why this particular point was considered to be an outlier. You can see it's very far from the cluster of data which you see here, right? So this point is very far, so that's why it considers it to be outlier. Outlier means a unique value or unique observation. Okay, so this is how you can analyze the points by plotting this swarm plot. Getting?
Yeah.
Okay, you can do this swarm plot. Just change the name to swarm plot, copy paste that same thing. It will give you this. Done.
Yeah, done.
Next, similarly, there is one more plot called as violin plot. That same like box plot is manipulated, and they have created one more plot called as violin plot. Now, violin plot shows you the distribution of data, like where data is like more dense. Like, is it towards the bottom? Is it towards the top? Now, if you see here, like in with versicolor, if you see versicolor, we can say that more data is towards the bottom as compared to top. So it just shows you the distribution, like where data is more. So here also it shows okay more data towards the bottom. Here it says okay more data towards the center. Okay, like that. So this is just to analyze okay how the data like is concentrated. Okay, for that also that we can use this violin plot. So this is nothing but a manipulation of box plot. So the Seaborn guys have manipulated the existing plots and created some extra plots where we can get some more information regarding the data. So you can try this violin plot. Okay, done.
Yeah, done.
So now next, now this is how like we analyze data. Okay, like given data, whichever is there. Like here we have taken iris data, and this is how we can analyze, and we can find out some more insights about the data by using different types of plot. Like that, we'll take one more data set here, and we will try to analyze and understand more out of it. So there is a data set called as Titanic. This is a very famous data set, and going ahead also we'll be doing this. There is a competition in Kaggle. We'll be taking part in that competition, and we will be solving this problem that is called as Titanic. So now Titanic, you guys might be knowing. So this incident, which happened around 1912. Okay, like April 15th, 1912, this incident happened. So now, in this incident, like around 2,224 people were there. So now in Titanic, Titanic ship, there were 2,224 people, out of which 15 not two, like 1502 people died. So here, like this data set is used to analyze and figure out based on a given condition who are going to survive and who are going to be deceased or who are going to die in this kind of given situation. Like when there is a panic situations like Titanic, okay, what's going to happen based on different things. Now in Titanic there are a lot of things to study. Like you can study a lot of human behavior. They are saying if a person is rich or poor, what's the survival strategy. If somebody is going with his or her spouse and children, what's the survival strategy. Okay, so there are so many things which we can understand by analyzing that data. So that's why like in Kaggle also there is this competition which will be taking part. This is one of the most important, most widely you will see a competition where most people usually take part. Okay, this is the initial one. When you join Kaggle also they will ask for this. So now this data set is already given in Seaborn also, and but Kaggle data is much more better than Seaborn, but still these are all real time data. But here in Seaborn they have given 891 records. Okay, like out of all those people only 891 records they have given, and some 15 columns are there, and we will try to understand this data and then we will visualize this data. Okay, so you can do this you can load this data Titanic.
Yeah, done.
Done. So now see dataset.head, once you do it shows you top 5 values of the record. So now here it shows certain columns. So first we will try to understand this data, then we'll try to visualize. So first thing, whenever you get a data, first understand each of the columns, then you try to visualize those things whichever are important within the data set. Now here in this data we have to find out who is likely to survive or not based on given situation. So here like first column survived is what we are going to study. So survived 0 means that person didn't survive. Survived 1 means that person survived. So this is what survival column tells us. So this is the column which we are going to target or which we are going to study. All the other columns are feature, from which some features might be important, some features might not be important. So now that's what we have to figure out, which is important, which is not. So first one is like P class. So here P class is nothing but it tells you platform class. So in Titanic there were 3 platforms, like class 1 platform, class 2 platform, class 3. Like poor people will be in class 3, rich people will be in class 1. So this P class tells you like in which platform that particular guy was in. Okay, so it says the first guy was in platform 3, second guy was in platform 1, like that. So this is like the platform. Next is sex. So sex is nothing but gender. It just tells you who is male, like if that guy is a male or female. So that is your sex column. Then we have age. So it tells you the age of that individual, like what was the age. Then we have one more column, CBSP. So now CBSP tells you if that particular guy had any sibling or spouse. So it tells you if they went with their sibling or spouse. So these all details you will also find out in Kaggle. If you type Kaggle Titanic dataset, you will find out all these details. Like there is proper explanation of all these things. This is real-time data only. Next is Parch. Parch is nothing but parent or children. Like if that person went with parent or children. 0 means didn't went with parent children. 1 means went with parents or children's. Next one is fair. Fair, these are in euros. So it tells you like how much money they paid to board Titanic. Like some rich people will be more rich. They'll be paying high money. Some people will be paying low money. So it will vary. So here it says how much fare they paid for the ticket. Okay. Next one is embarked. Embarked is like it tells you where they boarded Titanic. Now see, Titanic stopped in 3 different places. Okay, from where people boarded Titanic. So it was, one was Southampton, the other one was Serbog, the other one was Queens. So there were 3 different places. So it tells S, C, or Q will be there. So it tells you where that particular person boarded Titanic. Next one is class. This is a repetitive field of P class. Okay, it tells you which platform that person was. Who, man or woman, this is also repetitive field of sex. The other one is adult male. So was that guy an adult male or not? Next one was deck. Deck is nothing but cabin, like in which cabin that particular person was associated. Then embarked town. This is again repetitive field of this embarked. So Southampton, Serbog, or Queens. Next one is alive or not. This is repetitive field of survived. Next one is alone, like if that guy went alone or not. So it's like if no sibling, spouse, parent, children, that guy was alone. So that's what this last column says. So now this is all about the Titanic data. So you are able to understand the data set.
Yes.
Okay, so now here we will try to analyze this data and we'll try to get some more information out of this. So now suppose I want to see, like I want to visualize how many people survived and how many people didn't survive. I just want to have a ratio check saying, okay, how many survived, how many didn't survive. So for that we have something called as count plot. So now count plot shows you the count of value. So here I'm saying sb.count plot of data set of survived. So survived is a categorical data. For categorical data, usually we can use bar graph. So this is a kind of bar graph which shows you the bar height, that is nothing but the count of values. So here count plot of dataset survived, it says 0 is like here you can see more 0 value is there as compared to 1. So we can say that more people didn't survive. Okay, within our dataset, most of the people died and less people survived. Like here 1 is less and 0 is more. Okay, so that's what count plot is used to get some more. So here we can get some more insight saying, okay, more people died within our data. Getting?
Yeah.
Okay, you can do this. You can plot this.
Yeah, done.
Done. Okay, so now here the next one, like I want to find out uh, like how many were male and female within my data. So here I am doing count plot on data set of 6. It shows me how many were male and how many were female. So we can see more male were there as compared to female. So somewhere around 300 some females were there, but 500 plus some males were there. Okay, so more male were there. So you can also do this. Just copy paste and change your survive to sex.
Yeah, done.
So now next is like here I want to find out how many males survived, how many females survived, okay, within the data. So here like I want to see how many male and female survived. So for that we can pass group by. So here I'm saying data set of 6. I want to see how many male and female survived. So I am taking data set of 6. Then hue is data set of survived. So it will group by survival and it will show you the value. So here you can see like in the male most of the values are 0, that means most of the people died in male, and in female most of the values are 1, so most of the females survived. So this is like real to real, like this is to real life scenarios, like when there will be any panic situation, first people will try to save kids or females. So that's what it shows in our data also. It's true that most of the females survived as compared to male in Titanic. Okay, so you can do this. Okay, done.
Done.
Okay, now you can do the same thing for P class. Suppose I want to find out with respect to P class how many people survived. I want to know, like P class tells me if a person was rich or poor. P class 1 means platform 1, like class 1 platform. That means that person was rich, and P class 3 means platform 3. So you can do this kind of plot on that, and just let me know, okay, what did you figure out from that plot? Okay, you can do a count plot. I want to just find out like P class, which P class people survived more.
First, P class people survive.
Okay, so first class like platform class 1. So that means people who were rich, they survived more. So that's also true to life. Like if someone has more money, they can give the money to get a lifeboat. The main reason why people died in Titanic was because there were very limited lifeboat, and everyone was not able to get to a lifeboat. People who were having money were got the lifeboat first. So that's where here also we can find out that P class 1 people survived most. Okay, so you understood this data. Okay, so this is how we analyze our data and figure out some insights out of this. So now any questions on this?
No, what is the like definition of who HUE?
See, hue means it will group by. Hue is nothing but adding colors. Okay, so it's kind of color. Okay, hue defines different types of colors. So here you can see, like, if you want to group by and add colors to showcase those, so it will be like hue you can use. Okay, if you have a categorical data, usually you use hue and it will add different, associate different colors to each of the categories.
Okay.
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 Any more questions?
No. Kashif?
No. I will ask after analyzing everything.
Okay. Okay, next is here I'm doing dataset.info. Now you can try this dataset.info. It gives you a brief information about the data. Now here just it tells you in each of the column how many records are there and what type of data type are those records. So now here it shows survived 891 records, P class 891 records, but here it says age is only 714 records. So that means there are a lot of records which are missing. Okay, within our data there are a lot of records which are missing. You can also do this by importing pandas. Here there is something called as pt.isNull. So pt.isNull will tell you if there is any null value within the data. So it shows you everything in true and false. Okay, we can also plot this and we can also visualize where there is a false value. Okay, you can try this pt.isNull.
Yeah, dead.
Done. So now here, to find out any null values wherever there is true, wherever it says true, true means it's a null value. False means it's not a null value. Now here we cannot analyze so many records with true and false. To visualize this, we have something called as heat map in Seaborn. So heat map is a Boolean map which takes some Boolean value like true, false, 1, 0, those kind of value and it plots it within a graph. So now here it's a heat map. Here we are saying p.is is null of data set. So wherever there is true value, it gives you in white color. So that means those are null values. So here we can see there are null values in age as well as there are null values in deck. So lot of null values in deck, almost all the values in deck is null, and in age also there are a lot of null values is what we see. Okay, so this is how you can visualize your data to see if there is any missing value within your data set. Okay, so you can try this.
For me, this dot has not come 180.
Which one?
One dot. Okay, the sequence is different in mine. Like you got 180, 180 in y-axis. One dot is there, right? One white color in bar in this lining.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the Seaborn this one version. Okay,
Okay.
that's not. It just shows you the color depth. It's not needed anyways. Okay, so
I also got one dot line in like in embark for embark.
because your graph will be bigger. See here, if you see in dataset.info, you can do dataset.info. Here I have done dataset.info. It gives you an information. Here it shows in embarked also we have 889 records. So 889 means two records are missing. Okay, so that's why two lines will be there in embarked. But here as my graph is very small, I'm not able to see those. Okay, if I make it big, those things will be visible. Okay, so you can do dataset.info also to analyze the data to see where all null values are there. Actually here null values are there in three places, that is age and that embarked, and the other one is this one, that is cabin, that is tech.
Okay.
So now see these null values are very important to work around and based on that only we will come to know how good our model is performing. So null values, like if you see here in age, so many values are null. So now do you think that age is an important factor which will tell you if somebody is going to survive or not?
Yes. If it is a
Age is
if it is if it is a adult man or old man, we can then
yes.
definitely.
Yeah, so it's an important factor. So age is very important. If somebody is young, like likelihood for survival will be more. If somebody is old, likelihood for survival will be less. So it's somewhere very important factor. So now here we have so many missing value in age. Okay, lot of missing value in age. So now here to study this data, if I remove all these missing values, then what will happen? Our data set will be small to understand. So that's where we do something called as missing value imputation. Missing value imputation means filling up those values, filling up those gaps. So for that also there are a lot of strategies which are there to fill up those gaps. So that's where once we learn data pre-processing, we will see all those strategies, and based on those strategies only, if you are using a very good strategy, which is the right kind of strategy, which actually gives you the right kind of values, then you will get a better model performance. Getting?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this is how we visualized our data and got some more insights. Now, see, your task is this is one assignment which you can do. There is something called as in this data set, you can see there is something called as tips, right? There is a data here called as tips.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so now here, if you type over the internet tips data set. Okay, so it will show you that Seaborn data tips is there. In Kaggle also it shows you the tips data set. So once you go to that data set, you will find out all the details about this data. So now your task is to analyze this data and figure out some kind of insights out of this. Okay, so you can analyze this tips data. You can read more about what this tips data does. 1 second. Okay, so here it shows about the data set, what it is. So it shows some total bill, tips, sex, smoker, day, time, size, all these things. So it's a very small data set. So you can take this data set, try to understand about this. It says about the file and different types of column which we have. So you try to understand this and plot different kind of graph. Whatever you studied till now using Seaborn, you use all those graphs and try to analyze this data and figure out some insights. So this IPYNB file, like whatever you will analyze, you can share me your IPYNB files over WhatsApp, and I will go through that and I will evaluate. Okay, so can you do this task?
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Okay, so you do it by next class. Then next class we will also have MCQ on like data visualization. Then we will once all these are done, we will have a little bit of recap of what all we did. Then we will start off with statistics. Okay, so this is where visualization will end, and we will start off with statistics, and we will understand statistical concepts going ahead.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll wind up here.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, so any doubt will be there, just let me know over WhatsApp. Any queries?
Okay, we will do that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, then we'll see next class. Okay, bye then.